got Trenton asking about, man, I couldn't even look this name up because, again, it's been forever since we talked about Nio Gaoteote.
At Ohio State's Palaiie na Ote Ote, and I think the pronunciation is like Ma or something. It's like MA''A na Ote Ote. I think he saw a little bit of run at Michigan State. Certainly wasn't somebody that jumped off the page to me or whatever. I understand having the older brother at Ohio State, but I don't know. I don't know enough about the younger brother who was at Michigan State to have a strong opinion there. Certainly, probably. I think Ohio State probably wants to bring somebody in who was probably a little more impactful in their previous program, and that's not a slight on this player. It's just a reality.
Mm-hmm.
He had 7 tackles last year. There you go.
Yeah, no more on spec. They need proven playmakers. Stop going to the transfer portal for band-aids. Go get a tourniquet or whatever. But yeah, you need proven playmakers at this point, not guys who are coming in that might be good and he only played half the year last year because he was hurt or whatever. None of that.
I think they've got enough linebackers right now that these guys all should be good. And then you're bringing in guys like CJ Hicks and Gabe Powers and Sonny Styles as well, where I don't know what we expect from Sonny Styles this year, but the other 2 guys are going to be able to play somewhat. But with Tommy Eichenberg and Cody Simon and Mitchell Melton and Steele Chambers, Diamante Trainum, what happens? We mentioned Seven Banks earlier. What's going on with Taraji Mitchell? That's another question where, is he back? Is he not? So I think they've got enough guys at linebacker to bring one in at this point. It better be, somebody who is a no doubt starter. And even then, I know Ohio State fans don't want to. Well, you don't want to when the Eli Ricks stuff rumor was going on that Ohio State passed on him because they didn't want to upset anybody on the team, and that was bad information as far as I know. But if it still holds true though that you have to be careful who you bring in, and that's something Ryan Day has always talked about. You have to make sure they fit the culture, and but at some point with this defense, you can't be so friendly. You've got to get the best guys you can for the defense. I don't know that there's anybody out there that, as a linebacker right now, that's just going to be a plug-and-play guy. But there will also be guys available after the spring as well. But I don't know that means the quality will improve, just means the quantity will.
Kevin, I just want to make sure. We don't expect anyone else to sign for 2022.
No,
or do we?
Still, Carson Hinsman will sign for 2022. Hero Canoe already signed and kept it quiet. Omari Abor, who's committed to Ohio State, has not signed as of yet. He is committed. He did kind of throw out within the same breath of, I'm committed, but I'm taking visits. Haven't necessarily heard of any of these visits have happened. Ohio State obviously wants to dissuade him from taking visits. I tend to believe Omari Abor will sign. And then there's one more player that they're still pursuing, Kristen Miller, out of Cedar Grove High School in Georgia, greater Atlanta area, who was doing 3 official visits leading up to signing day. He went to Oregon. He's going to Florida A&M, and then he'll go to Miami. There was question whether or not UGA would have room for him in their fantastic class. I'm hearing that they do. So I think a lot of people feel like he may stay home, but it wouldn't surprise me if Christian Miller ended up any of those 5 schools, or if he just picked a 6th school. I mean, honestly, he's a free spirit who loves recruiting, and nothing surprises me with that kid.
Jackson State.
Well, no, but Florida A&M is an HBCU as well. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he was a Rattler. I mean, honestly, he's kind of getting the best of both worlds. He's sitting there. He would be creating a lot of buzz by going that route. Would still be in a major media area in terms of the state that he'd be in. I think he could do really well with NIL with all of that. I mean, I don't think it would be the NIL that he would get long term in a larger program. But when you're kind of the big fish in a smaller pond, you could draw more dollars. Whereas, I mean, especially at UGA, being kind of the fifth lineman in that class, do you kind of get overlooked a little bit? I mean, you still might get your car, but do you get a lot of the other deals?
Didn't Kenny Guyton have his career day against the Rattlers?
He also had one against Cal too, right?
Yep, those were his two big things, and he pulled their bacon out of the fire in overtime against Purdue when Braxton Miller got hurt. So those were
That was
his
the one
big
that really
three.
mattered.
His
Yeah,
big
the other
three
one was
stands.
just the other one was just a big stats, like a 72-0 win against Florida A&M, as I recall. I think he had 6 touchdowns, 7 touchdowns. David is asking about playing time for Mike Hall next season at D tackle.
Yeah, I definitely think he's going to be involved. They need him to be involved. I assume he'll be at the 3 tech. He's an athletic guy, basketball player as well, and just mobile and is big and exactly what you're looking for at that spot. Didn't get to play too much this past season. I'm not even sure if he redshirted, but yeah, I think he's definitely going to be involved, and I expect big things from him. I mean, this is a former top 60 player, Streetsboro. So yeah, he's going to play. I don't think he's a candidate necessarily to start with Teron Vincent and Jerron Cage back at the 2 spots, but I expect him in that rotation heavily. I expect him to play quite a bit next year.
Yeah, I think he played 2 or 3 games. I think he was qualified certainly for a red shirt. So yeah, it makes perfect sense. And it's kind of all hands on deck, I think, at defensive tackle. I mean, they need all the help they can get up there, and until the young guys really come on, which he'd be a redshirt freshman next year, until they get some fresh blood in there. I mean, may help them if they're able to find an Antoine Jackson type or somebody on the aftermarket as a transfer as well.
Yeah, as Tony mentions, top 60 player in the country, top 10 defensive lineman, second-rated player in the state of Ohio for 2021 out of Streetsboro.